Hello again and welcome to my channel. This is DJ speaking to you, and I'm bringing you some comments today. Once more, did one this morning, but I wanted to get this one over as well. I did say there'd probably be another one. I'm going to talk about something that's dear to my heart, and it's the right of freedom of expression, the right of freedom of speech. I've been taken to task by Facebook on 5 occasions, YouTube on 1 occasion. They claim I'm not misinformation and so on, when I have proof behind what I said. I won the 5 cases against Facebook. The YouTube one, I started this channel only in December, and I thought, I'm not going to fight you, I'll just delete it. And they wanted me to do a course, a training course to put me right. And I thought, okay, I'll do that rather than be cancelled. And so I looked at the first page and the second page of this 9-page training course. I couldn't fit it in. It asked me questions. It was one of these sort of multiple choice, and you got 3 opportunities on each question, 3 different answers. Yes, no, don't know, and the answer they wanted was, so this was on the medical, and the vaccines, what was in the vaccines, what the utility of the masks and so on during COVID, and I was against the masks because I'm a former health and safety and environmental consultant. I'm also trained highly in first aid and first response and so on. I dealt with masks during my consultancy years, and I have reasons to say they don't work, and I have reasons to say what was in the vaccines. But so I did them. Plus Trump, Vance, Kennedy, now starting off a new health, their national NIV, National Health, whatever it is, and they are starting off with 2 eminent cardiologists that, one's from England, that will go into head their new health inspection. And they both were against what was in the vaccines and the masks. And of course, Fauci himself, who introduced the ideas of masks and 6 foot distancing, 2 metre distancing from each other, has admitted that masks didn't work. And he's admitted that the idea of 6 foot or 2 metres was just at the top of his head, and he doesn't know where they came from. So, I was right at the time. I mentioned this, and YouTube wanted to retrain me to say they did work and that I was giving massive misinformation. Untrue, but I didn't fight it. But what I want to go on to is the freedom of expression and the Human Rights Act in Europe, which the Britain's got its Human Rights Act in 1998. And Article 10 expressly states the following, and I'm going to read this. Article 10, freedom of expression. Everyone has the right of freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart information and ideas without interference by public authority and regardless of frontiers. This article shall not prevent states from requiring the licensing of broadcasting, television and cinema enterprises. So if you're not in broadcasting and television and cinema, and although I'm broadcasting this message, it's classed as professional and commercial broadcasting. So, but I want you to remember that bit. It says that this article does not prevent the state from requiring licensing. But we'll go on for that. Secondly, in the Article 10, is Part 2. The exercise of these freedoms, since it carries with it duties and responsibilities, may be subject to such formalities, conditions and restrictions or penalties as prescribed by law and as necessary in a democratic society. That's the bit I really want you to remember. But I'll bring it back again afterwards. In the interests of national security, territorial integrity or public safety. for the prevention of disorder or crime, for the protection of health or morals, for the protection of the reputation or rights of others, for preventing the disclosure of information received in confidence, or for maintaining the authority and impartiality of the judiciary. So we're told, oh, you've got carte blanche, you've got freedom to express yourself, to receive information, to impart information, but it could be subject to law. We go on to Article 11. Article 11 in the Human Rights Act 1998. Freedom of assembly and association. Everyone has the right of freedom to peacefully assemble and to freedom of association with others, including the right to form trade unions and for the protection of the person's interests. No restrictions shall be placed on the exercise of these rights other than such as prescribed by law and are necessary in a democratic society. And it goes on again, public safety, information and so on. So we've got these rights, but they can be subject to law. So you can express your rights. You can say what you want. You've got freedom of expression. You can exchange information with each other, receiving and giving, unless it goes against the law. Okay, so what we're seeing in recent times, even just a few months ago, is the imposition of provisions to negate our rights to exercise the freedom ensconced within the Human Rights Act 1998, Article 10 and 11, which I've just read to you. I'm going to talk about safe access zones. Safe access zones? What are they? They're also known as buffer zones. And this is a message from Jess Phillips, MP, and we know who Jess Phillips is, don't we? She's in the government. And the Right Honourable Dame Diana Johnson, DBE, MP, the government, and she's a Justice Minister. The government has confirmed a 150-metre boundary will be in place around all clinics and hospitals offering abortion services, known as safe access zone. Within these borders, it is now a criminal offence to intentionally, now get this, because I think this is a very large stretch of the imagination. Within these boundaries, it is now a critical offence to intentionally or recklessly, number one, influence any person's decision to access or facilitate an abortion services at an abortion clinic. Number two, obstruct any person from accessing or facilitating abortion services at an abortion clinic. Number three, causing harassment, alarm or distress to any person in connection with the decision to access, provide or facilitate abortion services at an abortion clinic. Police and prosecutors will consider each case individually based on the evidence. Now the evidence, what it could include. Now we're going to go through these as I go back through them later, but at the moment I'm just skirting through them because they're important. So police and prosecutors will consider each case individually based on the evidence. This could include handing out anti-abortion leaflets. It could include protesting against abortion rights. It could include shouting at individuals attempting to access abortion services. Now, okay, I can agree. We should not be shouting at individuals who want an abortion. We should not be, I don't see this bit there, protesting against abortion rights. If we're not allowed to protest against abortion rights, then we're not allowed. Why are we allowed to protest against the government? Why are Muslims allowed to protest against Israel retaliating against Hamas in London and other cities around England, but we're not allowed to protest against an abortion? Doesn't make sense to me, doesn't make sense at all, but still. Now, this is the inclusion they've put. So, handing out leaflets, anti-abortion, protesting against abortion rights, shouting at individuals. This could also include, get this, silent prayer. holding vigils. Any behaviour where someone is intentionally trying to or recklessly acting in a way that might influence a person from accessing the service. Anyone found guilty of breaking these new limits, these new laws, will face an unlimited fine. Now, the Crown Prosecution Service has published guidance alongside further information from the College of Policing. That's the police training centre, setting up out how the police and prosecutors should approach enforcing the offence. While operational decisions will be made on a case-by-case basis, this guidance will now ensure there is clarity and consistency across the country. Now, that wasn't my saying, that was what I'm reading out here. Now, the Crime and Policing Minister, mentioned her before, Dame Diana Johnson, said, access to healthcare is a fundamental right. And that got me, access to healthcare. Killing an unborn child in the womb, whose health are they giving? Killing a child, unborn child, by abortion is not health. It's not healthcare. Now, if you're killing, is it healthcare for the woman? Well, no. Women are designed to give birth, to get pregnant and give birth. So the healthcare is to help her along the line if there's complications, and to help the due facilities and facilitating the birth. It is not about killing the unborn child. Maybe you've got a different opinion. If you have, there's a comments section. Please comment and back up your arguments, please. Don't just say, oh, it's the right of a woman, it's her body. It isn't her body that's being killed. It's the child inside, which is a separate being. But, if you want to object to what I'm saying, do put it in the comments. I'll be happy to read them. But make them logical and not just feelings. Okay, so where was I? Okay, it's a matter of healthcare. I'm confident that the safeguards we have put in place today will make a genuine impact on helping women feel safer and empowered to access the vital services they need. Why the vital services? Is it vital that a unborn child, must be murdered? Another comment, another opinion. The Safeguarding Minister, Jess Phillips, said, getting this measure up and running has been one of our priorities, and I'm proud of everyone involved in getting us here. The idea that a woman is made to feel unsafe or harassed by accessing health services, it's there again, health services, it's not health for the woman, including abortion clinics, is sickening. This stops today. Well, it's sickening to many of us that the health service provides a service of murdering unborn children. But that again is another comment. So the measures apply to any clinics and private hospitals that are authorised. Sorry, somebody came past my window inside my inner yard. So that put me off, but they've gone back out again. So the measures apply to any clinics and private hospitals that have approved under the Abortion Act 1967, and for any NHS, National Health Service, hospital that has given notification in the current previous calendar year that it has carried out abortions. Safe access zones were introduced through the Public Order Act 2023, following a free vote in Parliament that received cross-party support. Disgraceful. This, now, I want to cover what has now been said. So we're going back. This could also cover silent prayer. Within the boundaries, it is now a criminal offence to intentionally or recklessly speak inside your own head so nobody can hear it, a silent prayer, or to hold vigils. Now, any behaviour that someone is intentionally trying to or recklessly acting that might influence a person. Now, let me get back. Anyone found guilty, we've said, breaking the law is subject to an unlimited fine. So there's the scare tactics. So here we have a breakdown. Anyone standing still in personal and private silent prayer in one's own head, so nobody can hear it, can be arrested and given an unlimited fine. Holding a silent vigil, which also comes within the charge of an unlimited fine. Now let's see, how does the law define a vigil? It's defined as a stationary, peaceful demonstration in support of a particular cause, typically without speaking, and it's also defined as either a festival or holy day or as an occasion of a religious observance. Now let's remind ourselves of the rights of freedom to express in the Human Rights Act, which allows, in Article 10, freedom of expression. Everyone has the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to hold opinions. Well, hold opinions, you can hold them in your head, silently. So how is that affecting anyone? And to receive and impart information and ideas without interference from the public authority. These laws that have just been acted do interfere and are the interference of the public authority. You can't stand still, you can't pray inside your head, or we'll arrest you and give you an unlimited fine. Yeah, that is interference by the public authority. That's Article 11. Sorry, I've just lost Article 11, but I'll get it back. There we are. Freedom of assembly and association. Everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and to freedom to associate with others. So a vigil, which is people getting together and silently standing there, not interfering with anyone, has now become, according to this new law, illegal and subject to unlimited fines. So both the freedoms in Article 10 and Article 11 of the Human Rights Act have been negated. So the freedom to expression has been negated. No restrictions were placed on exercise of these rights other than such as prescribed by the law. See, that was in the Human Rights Act, and so no restrictions other than those prescribed by the law of the land. So they've made a law of the land, you can't do them, and are necessary for democratic society in the interest of national security. Silent prayer goes against national security? Not to my mind. To public safety. Silent prayer affects public safety? Not to my mind. For the prevention of disorder or crime? Not to my mind. For the protection of health or morals? Does silent prayer affect your morals? When you can't even hear what they're praying about? But even if you could hear them and they said them loudly, does a prayer affect morals in a bad way? Good way maybe, but I can't see it in a bad way. And the protection of rights and freedoms of others. So you don't have the freedom to pray. You don't have the freedom to stand still because it might affect the rights and freedoms of others. How? Standing still with a thought in your head, how does it affect the freedoms of others? Don't understand. I just don't understand. The government has chosen to impose a law stating it is for the protection of others, for the protection of health and morals, or for the protection of the rights and freedoms of others. But does silent prayer interfere with the rights and freedoms of others? I believe not. How does silent prayer cause disorder or crime? How does silent prayer cause a national security or public safety issue? How does silent prayer cause moral issues or health issues? It does not. What the government is so concerned about is showcasing of understanding that goes against the opinion they are attempting to embroider into the populace. They're trying to brainwash us. If a person silently praying inside their own head causes distress to someone entering an abortion clinic, then The feelings or distress of that person are already present in my mind and in the mind of that person, and the person praying, may that person who is able to give them, maybe that person is able to give them an alternative route to walk upon. If they're not saying anything, then why is it harassing you? And if it causes you to think again, if it doesn't cause you to think again, just walk into the abortion centre, have your abortion. But if it does cause you to think again, what better person to speak to about it than the person praying for you? So that's all I've got to say. I think, our freedom to think, our freedom to act, our freedom to express, verbally, mentally, and on the internet is being taken away from us. Give us your comments, please. Please like that button. I need your likes. I like to be liked. And don't forget, subscribe, because it doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you a cent, doesn't even cost you a rupee. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. So press that subscribe button. It helps me to continue. So I think this is going to be the last one today, but you never know. There's so much things coming up. So until we do meet again, bye for now and be safe.